This is going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm chilling on the couch, I'm cozy, and I'm going to talk about the ugly side of high ticket sales that almost nobody else is going to tell you about. They're not going to tell you about this in YouTube videos, on Twitter, Instagram, their email list, their coaching program, their community. Nobody's talking about it anywhere. It's so ugly that my dog is literally woken up and is going to a different part of the couch. But I just wanted to talk about the stuff, like the reasons why you should not do high ticket sales. Because even though I am a proponent of high ticket sales, and I think it's a great option for those that it's a great option for, it is not for everybody. And most people should not do it. Like, it is just like business ownership. Most people are just not cut out to be business owners. So I'm going to kind of dive into some of the reasons why high ticket sales should not be for you, the ugly side of it, because ultimately I think my job in the marketplace, at least as it stands today, is to inform people of the entire reality of high ticket sales. And those who choose to go down this path, I want to help those people. I don't want to help everybody. I don't want to help everyone go down the path to only then find out that this is not for them. I want to help people that have decided, having all the information needed, that this is for them and that they're committed to getting the outcome, and that's who I'd love to work with. So some of the ugly parts about high ticket sales, I mean, first off, it's more variable than any kind of job you'll ever have, besides like other commission only sales jobs, like door-to-door, solar, pest control, all that kind of stuff. It could be variable in a sense of income and employment both. You could have a 10K month and then you go down to a 5K month the month after. You could have an 8K month and then the next month you literally make $2,000. Variable can be good as well, but I'm talking about the ugly. So it can be extremely variable, and then you could definitely find yourself on a good offer that loses an ad account and then off the offer the next month. So that, kind of stuff can happen pretty quickly, or the offer is scaling up, they hire too many people, all of a sudden your call volume is cut in half and your earning potential is cut in half, and that's completely outside of your control if you're an inbound closer, inbound appointment setter. Ugly thing number one, it's extremely variable. Ugly thing about high ticket sales number two, a lot of these businesses will not be here in 10 years. A lot of these businesses will not be here in 5 years. Because social media and these shorter term acquisition channels like paid ads, stuff like that, are the primary drivers, these businesses just end up fizzling out. There's not all too much substance to a lot of these businesses. Not to say they're not helping people, not to say the products aren't good. I mean, that in itself is maybe the ugly thing number three. But a lot of these businesses aren't going to be here in 10 years. Like, it's not like you're coming in and you're going to start working for Microsoft. Now, that being said, you want to find something where you could see them being around for the next at least 1, 2, 3 years. That way, if you do like the company, you do like the opportunity, you have room to grow within. That kind of does piggyback into thing number three here. Basically, the people doing bad business. There's so little regulation and checks and balances in the online business space, maybe just because it's new. But there's a lot of people that just are literally just doing it for a short-term cash grab. Still a good amount of people that are, running coaching with good intentions, and they're actually genuinely helping people. But there are people out there that have terrible fulfillment. They rely heavily on aggressive sales tactics, and as a sales rep, maybe you're making money there, but you're not really sleeping that well at the end of the day. Me personally, I was never interested in working for those people. If one of the ways that you can kind of seek out if a company is like that or not is just learning a little bit more about the fulfillment, learning a little bit more about the results, the likelihood of success of the average person that goes in. You see how they set expectations on the front end, like someone who is just trying to wrangle anybody into their program and they don't care regardless, like they're not making a video like this telling you all the ugly parts about the business that they're trying to sell you, because they don't care about the results that you get. They care about how much you pay them and how many people pay them that amount, which is really messed up. So learn how to do due diligence. It's part of what we help people with in the community. Ugly thing number four. We already talked about the variability, but you are going to be missing out on some things that you would otherwise have in a W-2 job. Paid time off. Some companies are very lenient with you taking off whenever you need to. Don't abuse it, obviously, but there's other companies where like they feel some type of way about you taking time off. It's not going to be paid either. So in almost all cases, like time that you take off, you are not making money because you're a contractor. The other thing is insurance. So you don't have insurance as a 1099 contractor, and as a business owner or a contractor, doing that on your own could be quite expensive. And that's one of the biggest things that deters people away from doing this kind of thing, is because maybe they have expenses or they couldn't stomach an injury. They couldn't stomach an event, that basically rings them of all their money. So I'm not affiliated with this company, but I use them personally, and I've never actually had to use them, thankfully. But I think it's called Crowd Health. It's not insurance, but it's like insurance, and it's cheaper. And at least for me, I feel like when I need it, I will be able to get the coverage that I need. So crowdhealth.com.org, not so sure, just Google it. And I pay like $50 a month, up to 180. If other people need help, you're not going to beat that, to be honest. The other thing is, that's different in these roles versus like the W-2 is like the upward trajectory in these companies for the most part. And this is why you see a lot of people hop around in this space. In your first year or 2 years, like you can go upwards very quickly, but it's usually not upwards in that company. It's upwards across companies, which is different than W-2. These companies are super lean, man. It's like appointment setter, closer, maybe a sales manager, business owner. Where else are you going to go? Like if you're a closer doing 10K a month and you want to do 15, maybe that opportunity can turn into that if you stay long enough, or you could just go somewhere, be a closer where other closers are already making 15. So that's why like in the first year, you will see people jump around 1, 2, 3 times even to get from, maybe an appointment setter that makes 4K a month to a closer that makes 8K a month within the same year. Like you can literally do that in a year. You could do that in less than a year. And so I talk about the variability and the downside of that, but the big reason of why people get into this space is because of the upside of the variability. And a lot of the people that get into it are quite competitive, have good accountability, and they just believe that they can outperform others. And if you're that kind of person, like this is something you should pay attention to. Another ugly thing about high ticket sales is I would say because these businesses are so lean and these companies, they're bootstrapped, it's a lot of young business owners, they could be pretty unorganized as far as systems, processes, onboarding you, getting you the information you need, giving you updates from within the company on the results, the product, the service, all that stuff, organizing payments, tracking your payments, doing all this stuff. Like a lot of this falls on you as a contractor to make sure that you're on it. Bigger companies, W-2, they have departments that this is their whole job to track commissions for the sales team, bookkeeping, accounting, payroll, all that kind of stuff. So as a contractor, like you do pick up a little bit more ownership over getting what's yours. And if you are a disorganized person and you're doing a lot of sales volume, that could be pretty tough. So here's one that I didn't really predict. I was so focused on working from home, working remote, that I didn't think this could be a thing. But it's like basically getting burnt out of your workspace or of your living space. And that's why if you guys watch my videos or I take calls with you or anything like that, you'll see me like I'm always in a different spot. And one, it's because I can be, but two, it's because if I were to wake up every single morning, walk 10 steps, be at my desk at the end of the day, walk 10 steps, be in my living room, then go back to my bed. If I'm like just in this space all the time, you'll literally go insane. I have a WeWork membership and I'll go there, I'll go to coffee shops. You can't really take too many calls from coffee shops. But one thing you just don't think about is how tired of your space you'll get, especially when you're not having the human interaction. Like one thing I actually do miss from working the in-person sales job is speaking with people in person. And so whenever we have events, when people fly in or we fly out and meet people, it's always a breath of fresh air. That's one of the ugly truths about high ticket sales is I didn't think I would get tired of working from home. I didn't think I would get tired of not having in-person interaction. And I know firsthand a lot of other people that feel this way. And that's totally it's a very minute problem. Like it's not anything that's like, don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for anyone that's in this space that has that problem. They probably are reaping the rewards of nice commissions and all that stuff. But something I realized as I got into this. Another ugly truth, and it's kind of a funny one, is nobody's going to understand what you do unless you really, really, really dumb it down. People are going to think it's risky, and it is risky. Sales is risky. 1099 stuff is risky. Your family's not going to understand. Your friends aren't going to understand. You're going to pull up to Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner. They're going to ask you what you do. You're going to have to go through that whole process again of giving them context before you just say something that sounds stupid, which again, very small thing, but just expect it. You're not going to go to your family, tell them you're a high ticket closer for an Airbnb offer. And they're going to be like, oh, like our son made it. Like, we're so proud of him. Maybe they will. If you tell them you're making 15K a month and you dress it up, but a lot of people just don't understand it. And I feel like in some cases that can kind of create a little bit of a divide in relationships, that it's just the reality. Another ugly truth about high ticket sales is I feel like it's very easy, and this is honestly just sales jobs, but I feel like it's very easy to allow your work life to blend into your personal life a little bit too much. Meaning, I will be responding to messages and then I forget to eat lunch. When maybe I'm trying to follow a diet plan, I'm trying to get my calories in, my proteins and all this stuff. And this literally happens to me now. I work so late that what am I gonna go and cook a dinner at 10 p.m. and then go to bed like right after? Like, that just doesn't sound good. So it's really easy, and again, I think this is more so just a sales thing, but it's really easy to like put your personal life on the back burner, put your goals on the back burner, and you shouldn't. And that's, an ongoing battle that I've been facing for the past 4 or 5 years in sales now. But yeah, I mean, that's an ugly truth of just high ticket sales. Like, a meeting pops up on your calendar, 2 hours out when you were gonna go to the gym, you're not going to the gym anymore. So there's that. Another ugly truth that nobody talks about is like all this kind of these professional services that don't become needed, but become warranted when you start making money in a 1099 fashion. So example, taxes. Taxes just inherently gets a little bit more difficult when you're a 1099 contractor. I am not a tax strategist. I'm not a financial advisor, but as long as you have an LLC, set one up, takes $300 documentation. As long as you have the LLC by the end of the year, you should be fine. Ever since I started making money in a 1099 remote fashion, I've hired an accountant every single year. If you're in the sales community that I run, you have our recommendations in there for accountants, financial advisors, and all that stuff. But yeah, stuff like that, even personal bookkeeping, because you can expense things. Like if you need a laptop, a mic, a light, a chair, a desk, a trip, anything like that, you can expense things, and you just want to make sure that you have an account of all that stuff towards the end of the year. There's also the strategy of if you're making about 60K plus per year through this, which I'd assume a good amount of people are, you could file as an S Corp, and then you pay yourself W-2 salary from the S Corp to, on paper, give yourself a salary so you can actually afford loans and stuff like that. Again, all that stuff is like in the community that I run, and I'm not an advisor, don't listen to. I'll throw this as the last ugly truth about high ticket sales. This space is extremely difficult to navigate by yourself. There's a lot of people that don't have your best interest in mind. There's a lot of people that are advertising roles based off of hopeful projections, and they're putting themselves in a position, business owners, where they can only win, where they don't lose. And it costs them nothing to onboard 1, 2, 3, 5 sales reps at once and just say, hey guys, go sell some stuff. If you sell it, I'll pay you a commission. So I see a lot of people get burnt out on this space before they ever really gain traction. They go back to that old job because they didn't have the proper guidance. They accepted a bad job. They onboarded for a week, worked it for 2 weeks. They tried to hold on to that sliver of hope that it wasn't a bad job. And then they offboard, and then they're back to square one, looking for a job, sending their cold DMs. And a month of their time is gone, and if their time is valued at $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, you've literally just lost that money. So if you're currently making money right now, like if you're currently making 100K per year, there's no reason you should not be using your money to make good use of your time, if that makes sense. Now, if you're making $100,000 per year, or you're pacing it, or you're close to it, and you're still saving every little penny, and you still see your only exchangeable asset as time to get the things that you want, that is kind of a broken mindset. Because in the grand scheme of things, you're not doing this to be $100,000-aire. $100,000 is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. Like, you're not going to retire off $100,000. And a lot of you guys watching this, you're probably young. There's a compounding effect that takes place when you take action sooner and see it through for a long enough period of time. Like, if you figured out how to make $10,000 per month today for the next however many years you want to do it, versus if you figure it out in 6 months because you only used your time to figure out how to do that. I mean, first off, you lost out on $60,000 of income that you might have already been making, or you could have been making. But the compounding that happens, because in 6 months, maybe there's an opportunity that comes up, there's a connection that comes up that allows you to make $200,000 per year. And if you only become the person that can do that 6 months from now, you're never going to see that opportunity. Especially as a young guy, like this stuff compounds. And unless you are literally living paycheck to paycheck, like if you are saving most of your money, which is an awesome spot to be in your early 20s, that's the spot that I was in. The way that I personally just I put jet fuel on my income was by exchanging my money in addition to my time to get access to information and people that I needed access to. All that being said, guys, if you're not at the point of exchanging your money instead of your time, the first link in my description of this video is a free training, pretty much A through Z, how to land a good quality remote sales role in this industry fast. I'm about to make a new one. It's gonna be for 2025. Sounds crazy to say, but it's gonna show all the new strategies. So that one's gonna be coming out soon, but if you're still exchanging your time for money, even if you have money, like check out that training, it's pretty solid. If you are in the position of, hey, I know that like the end result of what you're talking about and what all these guys you show are doing, I know that's what I want. I just don't have the bandwidth. Like I'm working a job, I can't step away to do this on my own. That's when you need to use money, and that's when you need to invest your resources into something that's going to make this easier for you, something that's going to make it more sure to happen, something that's probably going to give you the better result that you're looking for faster than if you do it on your own. And that's where you should go to. I think the second or third link in the description is the community that I've been running for 2 years. If you're watching this and you're in the community, congrats to you. You're probably seeing all these jobs we're posting and you're probably cooking. If you're not in the community, I've literally posted like 10 jobs in the past 2 days. Closer roles, 10K per month, 15K per month, like crazy stuff. If you were to go and do cold Instagram outreach for 3 weeks straight, hoping to find those jobs, you would not be finding them. And so it just goes back to like, how much is your time worth? If you're in the position of knowing that you want the end result in the remote sales space, click on those second and third links, check out the community, book a call with our team. And if not, I've kind of made a vow to start posting more quality content like this on YouTube, continue educating people and helping people, and stick around. Hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell. I think it's a bell. Hit the like button, leave a comment. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Talk to you on the next one.